When someone asks why, say why you don't want to say why.
Ooh.
Don't say why. Say why you don't want to say why, because saying why is a trap. If this person in this situation is like, but man, why are you saying this? Because blah, 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 and we have all this history, whatever. Resist the urge to be brought into their emotional storm.
Imagine them dragging you down.
Right.
That's what they're doing.
They want to provoke you. They want to get your emotions back in it. This is how people get manipulated, by the way, because if you've ever been in a manipulative relationship, the second you, as the person being manipulated, start to pull away, what does the manipulator do? Bring those emotions right on up. And that's where the roller coaster comes in. They go, but how are you leaving me? No. Don't get stuck in there. Literally, just be aware. As we're talking about this, be aware that this person who you're trying to have this conversation with, if they're in this specific situation, they want to keep you in the dynamic. That is their goal, is they want to keep things as it is. They do not want change. They do not want you pulling away. They want things to stay the same. And so people pull out the haymakers in the situation. They make you feel guilty. They make you feel bad. They bring up that you're the only friend who listens to them. And without you, I'll have nobody. Without you, I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself. And they'll bring out everything you could imagine to get things to stay exactly as they are. But what do we talk about unconditional love? The most unconditionally loving thing you can do is to stand firm in what feels good to you. Because if it feels within your body in a very strong sense that it's time for you to move on, honoring that and removing yourself could be the exact thing that person needs to go through. And the longer we delay that out of guilt, out of shame, out of obligation, the longer this person suffers. The longer this person is delaying learning the lesson they need to learn. So if you have the feeling, there's a reason for it, and it's to be honored. Don't let anyone talk you out of how you feel.
When you have this conversation with them, you are giving them a fork in the road to choose. Because it oftentimes takes in life a very confronting conversation and experience to actually have us be shaken a little bit, to wake up to our reality.
Yeah.
And sometimes that takes losing access to someone you love, a very good friend, for us to have this jolt of self-reflection, to ask ourselves, okay, what's actually going on?
Right.
So that fork in the road that happens after a conversation like that, for the person that's on the receiving end of this,
right,
they're like, they can either be like, oh, this person's been, whatever pilled and is not there anymore, or whatever it is. He's part of it, and he's a problem still. He's actually now part of the chaos, and he's part of the villain. Or they can be like, wait, this person is now leaving. What's going on? Maybe I should do all this. I remember, at least for me, every conversation I've had that's been confronting, whether it's from an ex-girlfriend, a family member, an old friend, those confronting conversations were catapults.
Oh, yeah.
For me, following self-reflection, to jump to a complete different level of self-awareness and quality of life.
Yeah.
So what you're doing here is actually giving them a great gift and giving them the best opportunity possible for them to wake up.
Exactly.
And to evolve. And so unconditionally loving is giving people gifts of self-reflection.
Yeah.
And staying because you feel obligated is only enabling their behavior. If people act a certain way, different from the past, they become more hateful, more angry, disrespectful, rude, but the outputs stay the same. Inputs change, but the outputs stay the same. There's no consequences for their actions. But if they changed, or if you change and the behavior they used to have is no longer compatible with you, that is what will cause them to reflect on the inputs that they're giving when it comes to the conversations, interactions, their experiences they're having with the world.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is actually the greatest gift we can ever possibly give them.
Yeah, it always shocks me because I think as people listening to this podcast, I would venture to say you're probably a pretty self-aware person. We have to remember, and Cam reminds me of this all the time, most people are woefully unself-aware. And so the way they reflect is by facing a consequence, like Cam just said. So if somebody is treating people worse, they are being rude, paranoid, fearful, their vibe is whack, and nothing happens, nobody in their life has the courage to say, hey man, I can't do it anymore. Peace, love you. This just ain't it. If no one has the courage to say that, what happens? The person just continues to be an absolute hurricane in all their relationships and thinks everything is fine and everybody's there to support them. And I must not be doing anything wrong. I'm great. It takes having this conversation to give them the gift of self-reflection. And I have full faith that you got this. Not a bone in my body has any doubt that you cannot have this conversation, that you're going to knock it out of the park. And no matter how they respond, this is the big thing. We can just control how we feel. We can honor our feeling. We can put words to whatever is going on inside that's telling us this is no longer feeling good to me. We cannot control their reaction. So if they want to have a very emotional response, they want to kick and scream and cry and bring up a why, or but what about this and what about everything we've been through, just let them. That's okay. That's their process. But your boundary in this conversation is to say what you need to say, and if they continue reaching out to you about it, there's an opportunity for a text to be sent saying, hey, I really appreciate you reaching out. As I said before, this is no longer feeling good to me. This will be my last message to you. I'm wishing you all the best. And thank you for everything we experienced together. I have nothing but love and gratitude in my heart for you. And I have full faith that this next chapter of your life is going to be amazing.